Thank y'all for joining me for another video today. I have an at-home training vlog for you. I'm gonna be doing a boxing session on my own, breaking down the mindset, the different boxing drills, the technique behind it, how to do it. That way, if you're checking this video out, you can get the most out of your training sessions at home, especially when it comes into boxing. On that note, let's get right into it. All right, so first things first, I call this the warm-up to the warm-up. Before we even get into any crazy movement, let's warm the body up properly. So I like to take my Theragun right here. And you don't even need a Theragun, but if you had a foam roller to open up your muscles, muscle tissues before you really even get into the stretching, that's something I would suggest. So that's what we're gonna do right here. We're gonna open up our muscles by starting to promote a little blood flow through it. Like I said, foam rolling is just as good too. You're priming the muscle before you really go into your stretching. But if you didn't know, when you're stretching, you don't just want to stretch for the workout, so to say. Of course, you want to stretch for the workout so you don't get injured, but you want to increase your flexibility, your mobility as well. So that's the purpose behind my warm-up, to my warm-ups right here, is I like to increase my flexibility. All right, increase the blood flow. Now we'll get into a little bit of stretching. I'm going to get my stretching in through dynamic movements. And what I mean by dynamic is I'm going to be using movement in order to gain flexibility in that muscle. So for example, I want to open up my right hamstring. Simple. I'll go kickouts right here, straight up and down, these hamstring leg raises. About 15 on each side. Then I'll switch the other leg. Next thing, as I get older, I definitely don't want to lose the access I have to my hips, because tight hips really, really work against you. It's going to kill your low back a lot and your knees as well. So I like to get, as far as static holds and to gain a little mobility, I like to hold this deep squat a little bit before I really get into my warm up. So 2 minutes, but I'll show you what I do the final 30 seconds of it. The final 30 seconds of this, I want to implement some thoracic rotations or T-spine rotations. I'll place one hand on the ground. I'll rotate the other hand up and try to keep my whole foot, especially my heels, on here. If you don't have the hip mobility, I tend to see people lean forward a little bit. So try to keep the heels on the ground as you sit in this deep squat hold, and I'll open up that T-spine a little bit, because T-spine, upper thoracic spine, you really want to get those rotations in with your punches. So let's prep and start to get into some boxing. So tuck my shirt in, tie my shoes. I'm going to wrap up. Sauna suit is on. Let's set up for our first drill. All right, so round number one, here we go. If I'm going under to my left, left foot leads, right foot follows. If I go under to my right, right foot leads, left foot follows. You notice my hands are down. I don't normally suggest this, but for me specifically, I'm a little tense and tight up top, so I like to clench up top, especially my shrug my shoulders. I'll bring my hands down just during the warm-up, especially during this drill, to get comfortable being light on the toes and relax at the top. I'll come all the way up and bounce, bounce, bounce. Minute breather. Woo! All right, warmed up, right? 4 rounds on the rope, really stretched up, opened up well. Now comes the real work. We're gonna go heavy bag, 4 rounds. So I'll keep the strategy super basic for the heavy bag work. Today, round number 1, front hand only, really using our jab and our front hand, training ourselves to have a strong front hand to control our bag or our opponent. Round number 2, I'll start to integrate more punches from the outside, so we're working just from the outside range. Round 3, we'll work on the inside range only, really pressuring our opponent, using our body, bodying up the bag. And round number 4, we'll put it all together, and that'll be good for the day. Let's get the gloves on. I'm gonna take the sauna suit off for the bag work because we're gonna get intense and get right into it. All right, round number 1, front hand only, okay? So objectives here, really establish my jab, high and low, front hand too, so front hook, front uppercut. And really make sure that back hand is tight. So I don't have a coach with me that's really monitoring every detail, so I need to monitor just a couple things. Back hand tight and strong front hands is the goal for today. I still want to implement that same philosophy, strong front hands, but I'm really working from the outside range still. I really want to let the hands go a little bit more. So let the back feel my power, start to put combinations together, but again, from the outside range, that's the motive. Round 3, once I really establish my distance and my jab, now I can really put the pressure on. Use my head movement, my jab to get in. Stay in here, but still keep moving. Know what I'm in here. I'm moving my head. Moving my feet. Bodying up this back. Framing it. Pulsing it. Last one. Whew. 8 rounds in the books. Just got a good at-home boxing workout in. Thank y'all for tuning into the video. Let me know what y'all think. If you have any more questions when it comes to your boxing technique, please feel free to leave a comment and I'm gonna get to it. I read everything on here. Until next time, later.